We've heard from protesters over the past few months now, upset about outcomes in Breonna Taylor and Deion Johnson's cases. But this morning, we're getting a different perspective. So Maria is talking with the son of a police officer killed in the line of duty. Good morning.
Good morning, Scott. So Chris Rutherford felt compelled to do something. It has been a year and a half since his father, Paul Rutherford, died in the line of duty. We're outside his father's precinct. This is in Tolleson off 99th Avenue and Buckeye. Colleagues say Paul Rutherford wanted to help others save themselves and was known for serving with courage, compassion, and integrity. Back on March 21st, 2019, a driver hit and killed him while he was responding to a call in Maryville. Last month, his son, Chris Rutherford, wrote an op-ed in a local newspaper giving background about his dad and calling the conversation about policing ugly.
It's a yelling match back and forth. We're very close-minded to one another, and that goes for both sides, to have an open conversation.
The only true way to stop police violence is to end policing, period. We need to defund and abolish the police now.
That idea you heard right there about abolishing the police is from over the weekend here in downtown Phoenix, but we all know it is a narrative heard in other communities across the United States as an answer to fixing injustice. We know those in the Black Lives Matter movement, they are in pain. We also know Chris Rutherford is in pain as well, and right now he joins me here live, an exclusive interview right outside of his father's precinct. Chris, first of all, condolences again. I know it's been a year and a half, but how do you feel when you see these protests erupt across the country targeting police officers?
I get where the pain comes from, and I think what it comes down to is empathy. I think both sides have kind of lost sight of that, because the reason why I like to speak out, like the example of my dad, because my dad was a role model, not only as a father, but as a community service member. I feel like we need to remember why these people put the badge on, because 99% of them are some good-hearted folks. I just encourage maybe have a cup of coffee or talk to an officer for 5 minutes. And in that time frame, you can understand why he's probably doing what he does. Their job's not hard, and I understand. Their
job's not hard. Their job is hard.
Their job is hard, and the challenges they face are getting more and more adverse. But I just try to appeal to the human side of who those people are, and they're not perfect. I'm not saying they don't make mistakes, but I'm saying that taking away our first responders and an element of our safety is probably not a way I agree with. Because there's a lot of families out there that are suffering from actual crimes such as rapes, break-ins, robberies. There's a laundry list of what these guys deal with outside of what we're dealing with now on a national level. But I'm not saying taking away from any of it, but I think this conversation is not a conversation, it's a yelling match.
Why now? Why speak up now?
It's important to. I feel like a lot of us have been too quiet for too long. And this is the only way I feel like you can fix it, is having these conversations in a civil way.
So in your op-ed, you talked about leading with empathy. Do you empathize with the Black Lives Matter movement at all? Or do you understand where they're coming from?
I understand where they're coming from. I was born in the Philippines. I know what my family's been through in a minority level on that basis. So to some degree, I can relate. So yes, I do. But in a lot of cases, I think both sides need to reevaluate how they're handling it, because it's destroying us. We're building animosity towards one another, and it pushes us farther away from fixing it.
All right, Chris Rutherford, again, son of fallen police officer Phoenix Paul Rutherford. Thank you for joining us this morning and giving us your perspective. Again, we have heard the side of the protesters. They've been very loud, they've been very vocal, they've been very visible. And so here we are hearing another perspective, again, from a family, a police family that knows all too well the heartbreak. Back to you.
So brave of him to talk about that, and it's nice to hear his side. Maria, thank you.